All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word and truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan, Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the pound spread of Yahawashi, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. I was getting a bunch of notifications over the past a day and a half or so about just like war talk, man. You know, the wars and the rumors of wars, you know. And it was kind of coming one after another, but I guess that's just like your algorithm too. Like you get one thing and then another article comes and another news source and they kind of just come back to back. But as they was coming, I was like, yeah, I got to do a lesson because it's it's the spirit, It was just too much information, too many articles, too many videos that was coming to me back to back to back. I was like, yeah, that's definitely enough to put together a lesson. So this is more like a World War III update. Obviously we know there's prophecies that have to come to pass before World War III. These are things that we speak about constantly. But also we have to report on the events that will be leading up to this Third World War, okay? And the players that are involved. This article I have here is concerning North Korea, but then you have Russia, you have the United States, you have, Israel, you have Iran, you have, Ukraine, Germany, all these different countries, NATO, EU countries that will be a part of the Third World War. There's a lot of stuff going on within these countries, man. And we have to report on them. All right. So I got a couple articles lined up here, and I got a video that I want to show with China, because China's a major player in this. They have a new missile that they want to put on display. All right, and these missiles and this technology and all that these devils are showing, whether it's Edomites or these other heathen nations, it's all going to culminate and bring forth World War III. All right, this one is from NBC News. North Korea displays new long-range missile at a military parade celebrating Kim Jong-un. Okay. It says North Korean state media said the parade featured a new, yet-to-be-tested ICBM called the Hwasong 20. Okay. And these heathens are so proud. They have a military parade celebrating their leader. And they feature a new, yet-to-be-tested ICBM missile as a part of the parade, the celebration. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see the photo, you look at that missile, man. That missile is no joke. That's a big-ass missile, man. Okay? It says a picture released from North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, on October 11th, which was yesterday, Saturday, 2025, shows a new intercontinental ballistic missile paraded through the streets. All right, and this is how they want to show their power. This is how they want to show off that pride. It says at a massive military parade attended by foreign leaders, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un rolled out his nuclear-armed military's most powerful weapons, including a new intercontinental ballistic missile he may be preparing to test in coming weeks. It says the parade, which began in the rain Friday night at Pyongyang's main square and marked the 80th anniversary of the founding of the ruling Workers' Party, highlighted Kim's growing diplomatic footing and his relentless drive to build an arsenal that could target the continental United States and his rivals in Asia. All right. Now these things, these leaders are not building their military arsenals for nothing. Okay? The will of the Lord for these nations is to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get the scripture into fighting this third world war. Okay, so again, we have to report on the events that are gonna lead up to it. All right. North Korean state media said Saturday that the parade featured a new yet to be tested ICBM called the Hwasong 20, which is described as the country's most powerful nuclear strategic weapons system. Joined by high-level Chinese, Vietnamese, and Russian officials at a podium, Kim said in a speech that his military should continue to grow into an invincible entity that destroys all threats, but made no direct mention of the United States or South Korea. But we know who they're talking about, right? So, again, if you look at this photo here, and you look at these missiles, man, look at these missiles. Look at these missiles, man. Okay? These leaders are getting ready and they're preparing for war, man. They're preparing for war. And we love it. The WW3 Yahawashi for putting the spirit on these heathens to get prepared to destroy themselves. Okay? Because all of these nations are vying for the top spot, the number one position. They all want America, also known as Babylon the Great, out of the top spot so they could take the position. But what they don't know, what they don't understand, is that these nuclear missiles are going to destroy these heathen nations. And our Lord and our Savior, Yahawashi, is going to come in the midst of the chaos and put all these heathens under his foot. Okay? Mainly and namely so-called white man. Okay? I have another article I wanted to show. Just reporting on it. Just reporting on what's going on. All right? So you have North Korea showing off their missiles. This is from RT News. And Putin's going to do the same thing soon. It says Russia to unveil new weapon soon. Okay? What's the purpose of doing this? This is not for show. These leaders are not putting all of this money, all of this time, all of this effort into building their arsenal, their military arsenals, for no reason at all. All right? Putin's going to show off his new weapon. It says testing of the unnamed system has been proceeding successfully, the Russian president has revealed. Russia will soon make an announcement on a new weapon at its disposal, President Vladimir Putin has said, adding that trials has so far gone well. Speaking on Friday at a press conference in Tajikistan's capital, Dushanbe, Putin said, I think we will have the opportunity in the near future to break some news about a new weapon that we announced a long time ago. The Russian president added that the novel system is undergoing tests which are proceeding successfully. So these devils is building their weaponry, man. All right. It says when asked about the prospect of extending the New START arms control treaty, which puts a cap on American and Russian strategic offensive weapons and is set to expire on February 5th, 2026, which don't mean a damn thing. Right? All these treaties that these devils sign, these heathens sign among one another, it don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, like we've been saying, the Lord's going to put the spirit on these men to just destroy one another. Okay? Putin expressed optimism, saying there's still enough time to prolong the accord as long as there is goodwill on the part of Washington. And you see how these nations are always mentioning America as the real main issue. Okay? It says, in any case, Russia feels secure given the novelty of its nuclear deterrent and its constant improvement, the president stressed, describing the level of sophistication of the country's nuclear arsenal as unsurpassed anywhere else in the world. Didn't North Korea say the same thing? That hey, Kal Halal Yahawah for putting the pride on these men. And we know America say that about their military. So all of these heathen nations basically like, y'all don't want no smoke with us. We got the best military. We got the best arsenal. We got the best weaponry. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, it's going to be tested. He said he also stated that a certain arms race is underway in the world, with some nations considering nuclear tests to ensure their arsenals are up to scratch. Should such trials take place, Moscow would carry out its own, Putin clarified. So, hey man, here we are. I think I got something else. Oh yeah, because Trump brokered a so-called brokered a. Let me see if one of those articles is in RT. I think I had that pulled up. Let me see. A couple days ago. Let me see. I'm gonna come back to that one. Look at this. North Korea holds massive military parade. That's part of what I showed in that article. North Korea shows off new giant ICBM. Look at it. Look. Oh man. But on a serious note, man, when it goes down, it's gonna go down. These nations are gonna shoot these missiles off, man. Look how massive these missiles are. You know? Let me see. I'm looking for something very specific when it came to Trump and him brokering a new peace deal. Well, it says here about Hamas. Hamas to skip signing of Trump peace deal. The banishing of militants from Gaza under the U.S. president's plan is absurd. There's just so much back and forth. It's like at one moment they say he brokered a peace deal between the Israelis and the Palestinians, Hamas, and the Israelis, or basically the IDF, but I don't see that here. But anyway, it says, did Israel, from Newsweek, does Israel attack Gaza after ceasefire? What to know? All right, I'm going to read a little bit of this to give, some insight. It says, Israeli warplanes launched airstrikes on southern Gaza early Friday morning, hours after a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel was meant to come into effect to end hostilities in the 2-year war, it had been reported. So Trump had, you see at the very top where it says breaking, Trump flies to Israel to states the war is over. All right, so he had so-called brokered a deal between the two sides. But then it says here, did Israel attack Gaza after ceasefire? So like I mentioned, any type of treaties they have or the ceasefires that they have, that shit don't really matter, man. That's really just for reporting and for you and for people, man. And for people, that's politics, man, at its finest. All right? Trump wants to make it seem like he's the freaking and they was talking about one of these leaders mentioned him getting a Nobel Peace Prize for the, for the settlements that he's been making, the deals that he's been making, stopping these wars. It's all a bunch of BS, man. All right, because Israel, you can't tell them nothing. They're a bunch of goddamn tyrants. All right, you can't broker no peace. They don't want peace, man. They want war. They want blood. All right, it says CNN and BBC were among outlets that reported strikes on the center of Khan Yunis around 5:45 a.m. local time, with people near the Netzarim corridor also describing hearing artillery shelling and gunfire. Gunfire, man. Eyewitnesses also described airstrikes and artillery shelling in Gaza City on Friday morning, especially in the neighborhoods of Al Sabra and Tal Al-Hawah. CNN reported. A video published by Reuters showed a flash over the sky in Gaza at 5:55 a.m., followed by a sound of an explosion and a black plume of smoke. Newsweek could not independently verify the reports or the video. The Israeli government approved a ceasefire plan, okay, to end the war against Hamas, but it is not clear whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has given the order to the Israeli Defense Forces to halt fighting. You know he didn't. He don't care. He don't care about no deal. He don't care about no signed papers. You know, they over there smoking those Palestinians over there in Gaza, starving them out, hostages, all kind of shit, man. When contacted for comment, the IDF told Newsweek since 12 p.m. when the ceasefire agreement came into effect, IDF troops began positioning themselves along the updated deployment lines in preparation for the ceasefire agreement and the return of the hostages. IDF troops in the Southern Command are deployed in the area and will continue to remove any immediate threat, it added. All right, so what else more do you need to see? What else more do you need to hear? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 6, and we're going to keep bringing these scriptures out and matching them up with the prophecies and the news and the reports and the events that are happening throughout the globe, man, because they're prophetic. All right, and ye shall hear wars and rumors. Matthew 24 and 6, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, so these wars and these rumors are all these articles that I'm bringing up, all of these videos that you're seeing where these nations are testing their nuclear missiles, this is not to be played with. All right, this is not to be just skipped over, because at the end of the day, this is what it's going to come down to: war. Okay, Joel chapter 3. All right, in verse 1, behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's talking about now in these times. All right, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. He's going to gather these nations, bring them down the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Yahawashi, which is in the Middle East there, and the Lord is going to have these nations go absolutely buck wild on one another, because they have the weaponry, they have the military, they have the truth. It's going to go down. He's going to put the spirit on these nations to just run, to let loose. Okay, they're not displaying these weapons for nothing. Okay, this is the prophecies, and these prophecies will not fail, man. Period, point blank. Let me see if I had something else. No, not in here, but there was something in RT. Just to show, I'm not going to go into these, but just to read a couple of these headlines. Oh, this one says, Trump thanks Putin for Nobel Peace Prize comment. Right? Because again, this is all politics, man. No, peace prizes ain't shit. I think Obama got a peace prize, and this motherfucker's known for dropping the most drones and bombs in history of a U.S. president. So it's all a joke. Okay, this one here says China becoming very hostile, says Trump. All right, the U.S. president has blasted Beijing for restricting certain rare earth exports and vowed to retaliate with tariffs, which he did. All right, U.S. to impose 100% tariffs on China. You know what I'm saying? And when he did this, he just basically crashed the market, the stock market, with this announcement. It says the president's announcement sent shockwaves through global stock markets. You know, and that's what they do. They say stuff. They put stuff into. They put take legal action and execute orders, executive orders that manipulate the market. This is all. This place is fucking finished, man. All right. Last thing I want to pull up is this this short video, okay, this China spokesman was speaking about, and listen to the pride on this heathen, about their military and their arsenal and their weaponry, and the new ICBM that they have that holds up to 60 warheads. Hey man, hey, Babylon's gonna be completely obliterated and destroyed. All right, let me play this.
Mr. Abrams also challenged me, saying that China's military buildup is a challenge, a threat to our neighboring countries. I told him point blank, no country in China's neighborhood is a match against China in terms of military power. China's military buildup is a matchup against only one country, that is the United States. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have
You hear that? He says China will never let the United States to launch war on the ground or nuclear without suffering consequences. Okay?
Watch the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd. One of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot.
Help the children.
And this fucking nigga. But there you have it. There you have it. All right. More war talk. That's what's in the news. That's the spirit that's out here. The destruction of Babylon is at hand. Let me just close out with this really quick. This is the book of... it's funny because I was preparing to bring this out. I'll just read it. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahawah Shemel they have taken against Edom and his purposes, that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, which is the Israelis. All right, shall draw them out. That them is the United States. They want to draw them out into war. You know, because again, you see them playing, you know, fucking playing both sides, and they're in the middle of these deals, and the U.S. supposed to be some sort of big brother that's you know, brokering peace deals, but at the end of the day, it is Israel who will draw them out into World War III. All right, and it ultimately have them destroyed. I'm saying, okay, it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Okay, places are gonna be fucking burned to the ground, man. And Kal Halal Yahawah for that. All right, let me close out with Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. Okay, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly. Okay, so World War II is come and gone. All right, behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, World War III will be the end of this world as we know it. Yahawashi is going to come and destroy these nations, and it's going to be a war. Yahawashi will be in the midst. There's going to be a complete fatality. There's going to be no, because there's no wins against Yahawashi. All right. Yeah, man, and that's that. So just a quick update on World War III. I hope you were edified. Kal Halal Yahawah Shemel Shai Bashim Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostle and the elders of great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.